Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about a topic that what is project scope. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management or you are planning to give exam of PMP in near future. So let's start friend. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well so that my new videos can reach to you. So let's start friend. Project scope is the part of project planning that involves determining and documenting a list of specific project goals, deliverables, tasks, cost, and deadlines. The documentation of a project scope is called a scope statement or terms of reference. It explains the boundaries of the project, establishes responsibilities for each team member, and sets up procedures for how completed work will be verified and approved. During the project, this documentation helps the project team remain focused and on task. The scope statement also provides the team with guidelines for making decisions about change requests during the project. Note that a project scope statement should not be confused with its charter. A project's charter simply documents that the project exists. Large projects tend to change as they progress. If a project has been effectively scoped at the beginning, then approving and managing these changes will be easier. When documenting a project scope, stakeholders should be as specific as possible to avoid scope creep. Scope creep is a situation in which one or more parts of a project end up requiring more work, time, or effort because of poor planning and miscommunication. Effective scope management requires good communication that ensures everyone on the team understands the extent of the project and agrees upon exactly how the project's goal will be met. As part of scope management, the team leader should ask for approvals and sign offs from stakeholders as the project proceeds, ensuring that the proposed finished project meets everyone's needs. Now, what is the importance of defining a project scope? Friend, writing a project scope statement that includes information on the project deliverables is a first step in project planning. The benefits of a project scope statement provides to any organization undertaking a new initiative include that articulates what the project entails so that all stakeholders can understand what's involved, provides a roadmap that managers can use to assign tasks, schedule work, and budget appropriately, helps focus team members on common objectives, and prevents projects, particularly complex ones, from expanding beyond the established vision. Establishing project scope ensures that projects are focused and executed to expectations. The scope provides a strong foundation for managing a project as it moves forward and helps ensure that resources are not diverted or wasted on out of scope elements. Now, how to define the scope of a project? Very interesting point it is. Defining project scope requires input from the project stakeholders. They work with project managers to establish the key elements of budget, objectives, quality, and timeline. To determine the scope, project managers must collect requirements for what the stakeholders need from the project. This includes the elements like the project objectives and deliverables, when the project must be completed, and how much the stakeholders can pay for it. The goal is to gather and record precise and accurate information during this process so the project scope reflects all requirements. Doing this improves the chances for project leaders to deliver products that meet stakeholders' expectations on time and on budget. Writing a project scope statement. A project scope statement is a written document that includes all the required information for producing the project deliverables. It is more detailed than a statement of work. It helps the project team remain focused and on task. The scope statement also provides the project team leader or facilitator with guidelines for making decisions about change requests during the project. The project scope statement establishes what is not included in its initiatives, either implicitly or explicitly. Objectives and tasks not listed in the scope statement should be considered out of scope. Project managers can also list specific work that will not be part of the project. As such, this statement establishes the boundaries of a project. Project leaders must take those requirements and map what should happen and in what order those items should occur. This leads to the creation of a work breakdown structure (WBS). The WBS breaks down planned work into smaller, defined portions and required tasks. A well articulated scope statement is a critical part of effective project management. Project scope should be determined for every project, regardless of what project management method is used. Stakeholders for the project should review the project scope statement, revise it as necessary, and approve it. Once the project scope statement is completed and approved, project managers can assign tasks and give their team directions on what they need to do to meet the target timelines, budget, and goals. Scope planning and management. Friend, updates and changes are part of the project management process. As work progresses, managers must carefully control what changes are made to the project scope and document them. This requires a strong project management skills. The change management process also requires that project managers and stakeholders adhere to the project scope statement. They must recognize what elements are within the project scope and what requests are out of scope. Change management process help project managers determine how to evaluate requests for updates and alterations to the project, distinguishing between needed requests and ones that are out of scope enables organizations to avoid scope creep. Scope creep is when more work is tacked onto a project while it is underway. It can add cost and unnecessary work while distracting from the objectives and threatening the quality of the intended deliverables. Now we shall discuss about the project scope examples. Friend, a scope statement attempts to provide key stakeholders with all the information they need. There are few, for example, introduction. This defines that what and why of a project. An example would be this content creation and marketing project is being undertaken by company ABC. Project scope. This defines the project requirements. It sets the general goals for the project schedule and task and identifies who will be involved in the content creation. Deliverables. The deliverables section defines what will be provided at the end of the project and specifies a submission date. Acceptance criteria. This describes the project objectives and the metrics that will be used to assess success. Exclusion. This describes what will not be included in the project. Constraints. This lists hard limits of the project and things that cannot be changed. Project constraints may pertain to project schedule, project budget, or technical issues. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with the friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video. Thank you, friends.